Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today I am gonna share some tips with you on how to create a good product manager job interview resume. And to make it very practical, I thought why not share my own resume and go through some of the points with you all to show you what I would change in my own resume, which I created during my MBA school applications to make it relevant more for a PM internship or a application. The reason I'm sharing my MBA application resume because I see many MBA students who think that hey, we've spent a lot of time in creating this resume during our MBA applications, right? And that took a lot of time to take a star format to make it more business language, so why not use the same? And the truth is, right, the audience is completely different. The resume that your the points or the skills that this admission committee is seeking are people who are more versatile, right, who have done a lot of cross functional activities, have led teams, to find out the traits of a good leader. Whereas a job interview, people want to see the real work you have done and see and want to see if the company you are applying for and the role you are applying for, you, you might have do you have the skills related to those or not. So without further ado, let's just get into what a good PM job resume might look like. And before we start with the tactical points, I want to share few non-brainers, right? First, no matter how many years of experience you might have, please make sure your resume length is always just one page. There is no good resume in the world which would go beyond one page. Just consider it as a rule. Second, many people think, and you will I have received personally a lot of feedback, and you might too, saying there's no need to put interest section, you don't need that, nobody reads that. But that's so wrong, right? No matter, try to push yourself. You already would use 95% of your estate of the page to talk about your experience, to talk about your education. But don't underestimate the power of interest that you would put on your resume, or the skills that could spark a new conversation, whether in the interview or while people are reviewing your resume too, because that just makes you an interesting person. And no matter where in the world are you working, people always like to work with people who are interesting or whom they have something to share with. So always talk about, even if it's just a one liner, do use some space to talk about your interests and what you like to do outside work as well. Third, you might must have heard about this a lot, but I'm just going to share it in case some of the viewers might not have, right? Always try to use the format of star format. It's situation, task, action, result. Basically, the idea is to talk about what was the situation, what actions did you take, and what was the result. I personally find basically task and actions a bit confusing. That's why I always, whenever I talk to people, I review resumes professionally, I always tell them to keep three things in mind: what you did, how you did, and why. That is the what was the result, right? If you can communicate all these 3 points in each line of your resume, then I think it's good to go. That's a good self check itself. So let's just talk about a few points on my resume, and see what I would change. The first one, right? So it says, led a team of 6 people to create the low power architecture of next generation 5G modem, company one's first time experiment in the modem sector, and planned the task distribution in a way that we were able to save 4,000 man hours by signing off 2 months before the committed time. Okay, so this already, let me first talk about the good things, right? First, this already tells the role that I was a team leader, and I was managing or leading a team of at least 6 people, right? It talks about why I was leading the team. So that's a bit of what did I do. I led a team of 6. Why did I do it? To create the low power architecture of the 5G modem, right? And then it talks about what was the impact. The impact is that did it in such a way, task distribution, that it saved company my one certain man hours and also reduce the time to market. But you see, what is the main part which is missing here? It's missing in how, right? Saying I led a team of people, anyone can lead that, right? But what exactly did you do which makes you unique as an applicant? And the other thing which it's missing is this does not talk about any skills which are related to the product management itself, right? A product manager, if you think about it, they build an MVP, they talk to customers, right? Their job is to get the feedback, prioritize what needs to be built. And while this point has some flavors of that, it does not directly talk about those experiences, right? So here's what how I think I would change it now, to make it a product manager kind of point, right? So maybe the way I would put it is, led a team of 6 people to build MVP of company one's next generation 5G modem in 2 months before the committed time, and hence saving 4,000 man hours. So by, and that's where how comes, actively leveraging customer feedback for feature prioritization and resolving inter-team dependencies. So now what does this new point solve? It led a team of 6 people. It talks about my leadership. Why did, what's the result? To build MVP, minimum viable product, which is what a good chunk of product manager's job in product manager's responsibility is, to build an MVP of company's one's next generation 5G modem, and the result 2 months before the committed timeline, and also cut down the 4,000 man hours. So we talked about why I did, and I was a leader. Let's what I did, I led a team. Now how is what is new, which is by actively leveraging customer feedback. That's another PM job into skill, right? And for feature prioritization and actively resolving inter-team dependencies. So I hope this gives you a flavor of how do you basically use what, why, and how format to approach your resume for a product manager job application, right? Other few things that I would like to mention is, uh, first, you see these points like published and presented in internal paper, right? I think some of one or two such points might be okay in putting a resume for a job application, but I would not over stress things like that, and instead use the bottom part of your resume section if you think these are important to communicate. I do think some weightage is good because that shows how innovative you are, but it's important again to keep the what, why, how in mind. That yes, you presented a paper in certain conference, but what was the outcome? Why was that innovation worth it, right? And what impact did it generate? I think, and the other point which I would like to mention is I would encourage you to skip points which are around, hey, I was awarded this award in my company for performing better, for doing a good job, things like that. And I know how all of us are super attached, and we do think that communicates our work ethic. Well, that's great, guys, but I think of it this as, you have a limited real estate here, right? And the most important, someone stranger who does not know you at all, the most important thing for them and top of mind for them is to understand, does this person have the skills that I need them to have to do a good job, right? And the skills they are seeking are, has this person worked in cross functional teams, have they led teams, have they um, talk to customers, do they know how to prioritize certain requirements, do they know basic skills of program management and things like that. So that's my logic. people might have opposing views, which is totally fine, but I do think that you don't need such points. And I would rather use the real estate of my resume in communicating other skills through the projects I must have done. So that's it for today's video on how to approach your resume for PM job applications. If you found this helpful, please don't forget to subscribe my channel and leave a comment below on any questions you might have.